I always play a small part, like Hitchcock, I always walk on and walk off. So I can ruin any scene. When I left university, I had this obsession with theatre, with acting. I think I'd always loved films in particular, and a lot of television drama, and I thought the only way to tell stories really was to perform. So I spent most of my 20s training in America and then working in Britain as an actor. But by the time I was 29, I came to the realization that I was a truly awful actor. I was very enthusiastic and very passionate, but just not very talented. I worked a lot, considering I was so bad, but I worked a lot at the National Theatre in London, and I acted with Judi Dench and all of these incredible people, but I very rarely spoke. I used to play a lot of Russian peasants and dead people and soldiers and people who were required just to stand still, a kind of living furniture, really. That was my speciality. I realized after a while that I'd have to find something else to do, and I worked as a script reader, a dramaturg for various small theatres, reading all the plays. And I read so many theatre plays and film scripts that I started to get a sense that maybe this was a possibility, that I could write better than I could perform. And a theatre director friend of mine asked me to help him write a movie script, and neither of us had ever written a film script before, but we wrote a script based on a Sam Shepard play called Simpatico, which eventually became a movie with Sharon Stone and Jeff Bridges and all of these incredible people. So I almost became a writer almost by accident. After that, I started to write a lot of television shows, and I did that for 5 or 6 years before I started writing fiction. I loved writing for television, but I wrote on a show called Cold Feet, which was a very successful British show about relationships, and I loved working on that show. But television is very tough and brutal, and a couple of other shows that I wrote didn't work out so well, so I needed to find something else to do. And I'd always wanted to write about my experiences as a student, about the kind of the comedy and romance of that time of my life. So that's when I changed over to writing fiction. But I love writing both, and I hope in the future to keep writing both scripts and novels. No. Actually, whenever I've had scripts produced on television or in the cinema, I always play a small part, like Hitchcock, I always walk on and walk off. But even then, I'm usually so bad that it ends up getting cut. So I can ruin any scene.